Host the conference championship this weekend here at Grand Forks. So the first time we've ever been able to use the Pollard Center in that capacity. It's one of the most fantastic tracks that I've been around. I've been around track and field for the last 20 years, and it's exciting to have something with the surface that we've got that's frequently used at the Olympics. I think for the last almost 25 years, the Olympics has been held on a Mondo surface, and the fact that we have an 8-lane 300-meter track is really exciting to be able to get in there and host. From a contextual perspective, that's the biggest track that you can run on indoors. That's where some of the fastest times are produced, and at the end of the year is when people are primed to run fast and compete well. We had a competition this last weekend, our UND tune-up, and some of our best throws of the entire year, some of our best jumps were achieved there, and we only expect to see more as we bring in some of the finest competition in our region, really. So that's about all I have to start things off. If you guys have any questions in regards to anything.
How cool is it for these athletes to be able to, be involved in that conference championship, but you're in their, home school? Kind of how cool is it for those athletes to be able to play at home?
Yeah, being at home. Talk about home field advantage all the time when you're playing any field sports, any court sports, home ice. It's the same thing when it comes to track and field. Just the familiarity of the confines, being able to sleep in your own bed, being able to control what you can control. Those are all intangibles that hopefully will show up when we get to the actual competition day. So it's a huge opportunity for us. I think the other thing that's really exciting too is we've got a large geographic conference. We're going to head down to Tulsa, Oklahoma for our outdoor championship. That's a long way away. The likelihood that your friends and family are going to be here to watch you, that's highly prized by all of our individuals, and that's something that I think will help them as well when it comes to competition.
What teams you look at as the favorites coming in?
If you look at our conference, traditionally it's all of the Dakota schools. There have been some coaching changes, including obviously here at North Dakota in the last year, and that has, that has changed a lot in regards to the complexion of who's going to potentially win the meet. So if I look at the favorites on paper, it looks like it's going to be a battle between South Dakota and North Dakota State, and then we fall into that 3-4 spot, and so it's pretty much a race between all the Dakota schools to figure out which one comes on top.
Individually, who's done well for you entering the meet?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've had a couple different standouts, but probably our highest, or I shouldn't say probably, our highest ranked national athlete right now is a transfer that we brought with us when we came from Division II, and that's Elisa Olseth. She's ranked in the top 25 right now in the pentathlon, and she's going to compete this weekend. And I think on paper right now, she has an outside shot of finishing in a high enough spot to be able to make the national meet in that event. So we're pretty excited about that moving forward. The thrower girls on top of that, we've got 3 young ladies who are actually also going to go and compete at a U.S. championship. It's different than the NCAA championship because it is open to all of the professionals that compete in that event right now. It also serves as a qualifier for the World Championships, which are going to be hosted in Serbia here in a couple of weeks. And there are 3 of them. Allison Lardy, Eve Goldstein, and Kenna Curry are also going to go and compete in that in the weight throw. And those girls have continued to impress and improve as the year has gone on. And then on the men's side, we've got Luke Labatt, who is just 1 second off of our school record in the mile earlier this year when they competed in Michigan. He ran 4:09 for the mile. School record's 4:08. So he's one of those that we, expect to go out there and challenge for conference championship in his event. And that's just a few of them. We've had a lot of great progress across all of the events, and we're excited to have kids be able to show that off at home.
Last thing for me, how much has the Pollard Center been a factor in recruiting and going forward? Will it be a bigger factor for you?
Great question. Facilities are paramount. I think if you look around the collegiate scene right now, if you think about the building that we're in right now, the people with the best facilities, the people with the best staffing, all those things typically have an opportunity to land the best athletes. We're finally positioned in a place where not only can we show some of those things off, but we're starting to get some of the best athletes who will actually look at the institution, who consider what their training is going to be on a day-to-day basis. And it's completely changed everything from when I was a participant back in the NCC and thought about which school I would go to and thought about which school I would consider competing for. Now we're in the conversation with people that we haven't been in previously. So it's one of those things, you know, the first year is helpful, but when we start to get people through the door, I think the description is one thing. I think experiencing it is another thing. We've got some kids. We've got a kid that you know, is going to transfer in from another institution, and part of that was him just coming to some of our meets and seeing what we have from a facility standpoint and registering just how nice it is and just what type of a training and a competitive atmosphere that's going to be.